Hi guys, so today we're going to build a news aggregator app using Flutter, and we also use News API to get all the articles and Google Cloud text-to-speech converter to have the ability to listen to the articles instead of you need to reading them. And it will be like voice news app, and we call it voice news. If you like this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and let's just not waste any more time and just jump into this code. So what we have in front of us is a new Flutter application, and we can delete some parts of it and just to leave what's necessary for us. So we can delete all of this. Right, so now we have to have a home page. Let's just create that in a separate file. Call it homepage.dart. Let's import material design. And this will be a stateful widget. Home page. Okay, let's import that into our main file. Okay, so now we have a blank application that returns a container. Let's also don't show this debug banner. Okay, so this is a completely blank application. So what we will need a list of all the articles in front of us, and I think we can start by creating the class of articles, and we will define what will the article consist of. So let's just call it article, and this will be an article class. So I think we need to jump into the news API to see how does it look, what kind of JSON response we get. So yeah, so for example, let's take the top headlines response. So we see what kind of let's just move it here. So what we'll get is like this kind of response. So status, the total results, and the articles. This is a list of JSON objects, where one JSON object is the article. So we have source, author, title, description, and etc. So we can see that article will look like this. We can choose what we need. So author is, I think, okay. Title, description, URL to image would be necessary because we want to display some kind of image for our articles. Also published at might be useful, and the content, of course. We will make the app to read the content, which will be the body of the article. Okay, so we can see what we have here, and we can therefore define how our article class would look like. So we have string title, author, description, what else, URL to image, what else, author, title, description, URL to image, published at, which will be date, time, and of course the content. Let's just get the screen back here. Okay, so let's call it a constructor. All right, we have so we defined the article class. Now our I think we should also define how the total list of news would look like, because we want to, for every screen, to return some number of articles. So for example, on the home page we can display the top headlines, which will call to the news API with top headlines, and they will return like in this case, for example, 38 articles, a list of 38 articles. So for every screen we will want to show some kind of number of articles. So now let's create this news file where we'll define what will the list of articles look like. So this will be also class. And of course we will have to import first some packages. So right here we'll define how we call the news API. So for that we need to get a HTTP package. So let's look into that. Flutter pub. Let's import this into the pub/spec YAML file. Press the packages get and import it right here into our news.dart file. Let's make it as HTTP. Alright, so we also need to import the article class, because our news will be made of them. Also for decoding JSON response that we will get, we will need import Dart convert package. So yeah, now we have all the imports we need, and the news will be made of list, like I said before. So list of class article will be news, and for now just an empty list. and this news class will have a function feature void get news. So we have to specify which URL we want to get the article and the news from. So let's just jump into this news API, and for example right here we have the link that we have to call it. So it will be like URL URL. So yeah, as you can see, there is an API key at the end of this link. So you will have to specify your own API key that you get from the news API. And oh yeah, I didn't mention before that the news API is like you can see here free for developers, and like you just want to try it out. And of course, if you want to create some kind of commercial app, you would have to pay a monthly fee for this. But as we are just testing it, we have a free version of it. So you see here the link. This will mean what kind of news you want to get. So as in this example, it is top headlines, but there are also plenty of other headlines that we can get. And like here you can get like everything, and you can also specify Bitcoin or some else, Apple. Also you can specify the dates and just stuff like that. So but for now, let's just start with top headlines. This is in the United States, and yeah, so you can check your API key when you log in. So let me just log in now real quick. Yeah, so right here you will have your own API key. Yeah, so we can do it like that. We can define it right here. And then in this place we can call it with this variable API key. And then yeah, and if you can also define what kind of headlines we want to get, so it will be string headline top headlines. If you ever want to change what you want to get, we will just need to change it right here, and so headline, yeah, so we have a link that we want to get the articles from. So what we're gonna do now is we will try to get an HTTP request from the URL that will hopefully return the list of articles. So let's create a new variable response. Then we have to await for the response. So it is an asynchronous function, and it will be http.get our created URL, and then we will get this way the JSON object, which we have to decode it. And so we create another variable that will be JSON data, and it will be JSON decode response dot body. We also want to have a status, so we can get that from response dot status. Oh yeah, status is inside the body. So we have the status inside JSON data variable. So now if we get the status OK, we can start to loop through each of the articles. So if status equals OK, let's try to loop through each article that we get. So we want to create an article, which will be of class article, and we'll have these parameters. So title will be element title, and it's a good thing that we matched all the parameters of class article to the JSON response that we get, so it's easy to know what kind of names are for this JSON object, and it will be the same description, what else, article, what else, title, author, description, URL, date, time, publish that, date, time dot parse, and the last one, content. And now we need to add this article object that we just created to our news list. So news.add article, and that's it. Now we have defined what our news list would look like. So now we have to prepare our homepage class to how to display those articles. Alright, so let's just jump right into the homepage file, where we'll define how our display would look like, how our UI. And first, let's just import our news file. So when we launch the app, we want some message to display that it's loading while all the news are getting loaded from the news API. So we'll create a bool variable, let's just say loading in progress, and another variable will be the news list that we will get. So we want to init state, and when we initialize state, we want to set the loading in progress to true, equal to true. And then after we load all the articles, we'll set this to false. So now let's in our initial state call the function get news, which not yet exists, but we'll create that. Okay, so we'll create it right here, get news. This will be a async function. Yep. So right here we call news will be news like that. And after that we want to get news, so news get news function, which you need to await for, and then news list. Wait, so news function. Oh, so our news list will be now equal to news because right here this list will be created by calling this function. We add all the articles to this news list, and now we want to get this list and right here. All right, and after that we want to set state and set our loading in progress variable to false, because now all the news are actually, we need to move it inside here. And now we want to display if okay, either way we have to return scaffold, which will be have the body of safe area, and then its child will be padding, which have horizontal padding, since the safe area already adds its own padding from the top, so we don't have to worry about it. So we'll just leave horizontal padding, which will be equal to like 20 pixels, and then so we have the padding now, and its child will be now depending on the loading in progress variable. So if loading in progress is true, we want to display just a simple centered text. That would say it's loading. And then if it's not loading, we want to display, let's just for now say column children text. and there will be text like news. Let's save it. So now let's just hot restart. So now we see the loading page, but for some reason this doesn't load the news. So let's try to debug the problem. Okay, so the problem was actually just a stupid mistake. We forgot to write here articles, because that's where it is the list of articles, not just the whole response. So I think now everything should work fine. We hot restart. Yes, so we see this loading screen, and after the news are loaded, we get into the news. So what we actually need to do now is just to make it more nice, make it nicer, and instead of just displaying news text, we will get some more information. So first it will be row, so the color will be black, font size should be around 30, I think. Font weight should be bold. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, maybe even bigger, 36. Yeah, that looks nice. So now let's also add divider. Just a mild line under the top headlines. And now let's just start displaying the article, what it will look like. So it should be a list view of list styles, and let's start to write list view builder. Oh, maybe okay. So it will return list style. So list style, let's see what list style is made of actually. So you must have a title. So that will be the title of our article. So if we have a news list, so that means title should be equal to our news list of index, something like this. Okay, our list view has to be wrapped with an expanded widget, so because we want the news to be displayed in all of the screen. So yeah, I forgot to wrap this inside of text widget. Okay, so as you can see, we have all the titles from the articles. Let's see what else list style has. Leading, title, trailing. So we actually want to display play button as the trailing of this list style. And leading, I think leading should be the picture of the article. So leading will be an image from network. Source will be from news, index, and URL to image. Okay, so as you can see, the error shows that there was an article that didn't have a picture for it. So what we can do here, we can get back to the place where we read the articles, and we can check if it has an URL to image or any other parameter, and select only those that have one. Maybe we should do this right here. Each element, if element URL to image does not equal to null, then we do all these things. So let's now hot restart and see what we have. So yeah, now we have all the articles with their images, the title, and now all is left for us to show is trailing. So for the trailing, we'll display a circular progress button, which inside of it will be a play button. So we'll leave the play button for later now, but before that we should add as a subtitle the date that the article was posted at, and for that we will need another Flutter package. This will be an international package in INTL, which we have to import into our application. So yeah, I think we have to first install it. Let's add this to pubspec YAML, packages get, and then import right here. Yes. So So now we just need to add a subtitle, text, date format, #HM. So this will show only hours and minutes, and this will be format and the date, so news list index and published at. So now we can see the time that the article was posted at. Okay, so now it's the time to get ready for the playing and converting text to speech part. So for the converting text to speech, we will use Google Cloud platform. So let's just create now one more file that will be dedicated for the voice converting, and we'll call it voice connection. So let's import again HTTP also Dart convert for working with JSON objects. So now let's define a variable API key, which we will find in our Google Cloud platform. So for this to work, you will need to create an account there. It has a limit, a quote for some requests, for the specific number of requests that you can get for free. For example, with voice, for converting text to speech, or other way around. And so like you can see, this is my dashboard of this project, and you can find our API key right here and in the credentials section. Yes, so your your key should be here, and we'll just copy this key and put it inside here. And then now let's define the function that will be necessary for this to work. So this will be the feature that will return HTTP response, and it will have an input variables of string. It will be some kind of text that we want to be converted to speech, asynchronous function. So now we have to specify what will be the URL that we want to communicate with. So for that, let's just jump right back into the Chrome and just once again, let's see Google text to speech. And you can see an example right here. So we will need to call a URL like this, and we have to post this kind of JSON object. So what we can do is we can copy everything from here. So let's try and do that. So this will be the URL that we want to post our text, and in the end we want to write our API key like this. So now we have to encode the JSON object that we want to post to this URL, and we'll call it body JSON encode. It will be this object, and we'll just we'll just modify this a little bit. So let's leave everything at that except for text, which we want to alter. And actually it will be the text that the person will alter, not the person, but it will depend on the article that we want to play. And let's leave everything as it is. And what we want to do then is to make an HTTP .post request to the URL that we specified earlier, and this will be equal to response, and let's specify the headers should be content type application JSON, and then the body will be body variable, and this will return the response that we just defined. We didn't write a name for our function. Voice connection or voice response will be the more appropriate name, I think. Yeah, so that's it. We got now a voice connection, and all is left is to create an audio player with the play button that will play and stop our article. So now for the next part, we will jump right back into the Flutter packages website, and we will look for the audio players package that will help us play and stop our articles. And let's first just install this and copy this to the pub/spec.yaml file and get packages. And now let's just jump into the repository where there is a perfect example of what we need. So my idea is to display the circular progress indicator together with the play or pause button. And to do that, let's just jump into the example folder and see how it is implemented right here. So if we open the main.dart file, we can see that here nothing complex is really implemented here, and all the legwork is done in the player widget, which comes from player widget file, which is imported right here. So over here there is just a single child scroll view that has a lot of these widgets which only need URL as an input. So let's see how the player widget file looks like. And so that's where all the information about this player is located. And basically we just need almost to copy everything from here, because we just alter some things how we would like them to be, but in essence everything is quite good right here. So let's just copy everything from here. And create one more file, and this will be also called player widget. Okay, so now we just have to modify this file according to how we need it to be, and we'll be almost done. So let's see actually what we don't need here. So we don't need this as local variable, because we will save the converted text as a local MP3 file in the phone, in the device. So this will always be local in our case. If this was used for some another application, that we could leave that. So let's delete it from all the constructors. And now, okay, now what we can do, we can change how it will look like. So what we want to return here, so we want stack, and this will be stack children. And so the way stack works, the first children, the first child will be on at the bottom, and the lower you go, the last child will be at the top of the stack. So now let's first define how our circular progress indicator would look like. So it will be in the size box, which will be 60 pixels square, and child will be circular progress indicator. Now let's see what kind of parameters it has. So we will have a background color. So the background color should be just plain black. Stroke width, I think, should be around 4, and then the value color always stopped animation, and that's how you define color for this parameter, for this property, and it should be like green accent. It will be like, that will look cool, I think. So now what else do we need? So we need the value. How much should the indicator be filled? So the value parameter should be equal if position not null and duration not null and position in milliseconds more than 0 and position in milliseconds more than, less than duration in milliseconds. Then it should be position in milliseconds divided by duration in milliseconds, and else it should be just 0. So now we have the progress indicator defined, and on top of it there will be an icon button which will have an icon and on pressed. So icon will be if is playing. So if the is playing is true, we want to display the pause button. So that will be icon pause. Else we want to display play. Okay, and on pressed it should be something similar. Instead just of calling of icon, we should call a function. So if is playing is true and we want to pause it, so we want to call the pause function, and else we want to call play function. So let's also the play function will actually take, okay, so we don't need this anymore. And we will actually take the body of the article as a parameter in this function, and instead of specifying the URL when we call this player widget, we will specify the body or the content. In other words, right, so now when we call the play function, we want to in here, and then we would want to put this inside square brackets. Now it looks really ugly. Okay, so we don't actually need these notification parts, and we are not interested now. And we will play. Okay, so all is left to fix is this play function. So what we need to do is we need to call the Google Cloud API that would convert text to speech, but they will return the response will be a base 64 file, which we then need to convert to MP3 file for the device to be able to play it. So first we will call this voice response function that we created earlier. Voice response, this will be body. Then we would need to decode this response, JSON decode, and response.body. Oh yeah, there has to be a wait, because we have to wait for some time for the server to get the connection with Google Cloud to convert it. Now this JSON data. Now this JSON data has copied this into our API Explorer. And to actually see what kind of response we will get, yeah, so you get just audio content field, and 200 is the response. Okay, so this is a base 64 format, which we will decode and turn into an MP3 file that the device will understand. So now let's jump back into our editor and create a new variable. Should be audio base 64, and this will be JSON data audio content. Now we need a uint 8 list called bytes, that will be base 64 decode audio base 64. So we have this response in bytes, the audio file in bytes, which we will now turn into an MP3 file. So first we'll get a new variable for the directory of the documents file folder on the device. So await get application. Oh, looks like we're missing something. So I think it should be path provider package. That would help us here. So get application await get application path provider. We first need to get this package from the Flutter packages. So path provider, yes, we have it here. Install packages get. Now we have it. We have it imported now, and it should, yes, so get applications documents directory path so now let's create a file, an MP3 file, that we will write the bytes. So new file, and let's specify the path that it will have. So there plus date time now and millisecond since epoch to string plus .mp3, and oh, we don't have file, so let's import that. I think for the file we have to import dart.io package. Yes, we don't see no error anymore. And now wait, and we have to write the bytes variable into the file. So let's just write file write as bytes and bytes. Okay, so the last thing left to do is to fix this error, which will play a local file now from the path, and is local will be true, and that's it. So now we have to put the trailing player. Okay, we did not import the player widget. Let's do that. And then the trailing will be player widget. Which we need to specify the body, and that will be news list, index, and content. So, we can see that the play button looks ugly. Let's switch that. Right here. So let's set the style. First the color. So again, the color should be black for both of these. And then let's change the size. The formatting is not right. So let's set the size to 45 maybe. This also. Yes, and now we have, now it looks much more like it, much more how I want it to look like. So the error I see is missing plugin exception, no implementation found for method get application documents director. So let's try to see what went wrong in there. And but I don't really see any error here, so maybe let's try to completely turn off the app and just build it from the start and see if maybe that helps it. So I think we left also somewhere print statement. We left it over here. Let's delete that and let's try again.
A New York City police officer described as a young man with a bright future and a man he was trying to arrest were both shot and killed during a struggle early Sunday in the Bronx.
There you have it, guys. There you have it, guys. A news app that you can play all the articles in voice if you like to listen to podcasts, if you, for example, driving to work and you want to listen what's going on in the world, you can create an app like this and just
Sean McDermott took issue with how long two Patriots staffers were on the field during pregame.
So if you like this video, guys, please make sure to like it, subscribe to my channel, and I will make sure I have more videos coming up. I really enjoy doing this one, and I think we got a pretty good result. So let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe you have something to improve, or any questions you have, just drop the comment below. And see you next time.